There we go. Hi, Mr. Peter. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
And
meet you,
how are you
Joel.
doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Yourself?
Yes, I'm absolutely doing great. So I'll just introduce yourself to my audience. This is today's my guest is Mr. Peter Hanc, and he's a very dynamic and down-to-earth person. And let's welcome him to this live. So yeah, here you are, Peter. Nice having you here. So
Great to be here today. So
so
I will say a few words about myself. Yes, so I'm a functional range conditioning mobility specialist and a strength coach. So helping people to get from fragile to robust. So if people getting injured or generally not feeling well or just want to get stronger, I'll just to make them feel better, no matter where they are, what kind of injuries they have or anything. I'll just help them just by using mobility stuff, let's say that, or mobility training.
absolutely, yes. Yeah, and then about me, I'll say I'm Dr. Joel. I'm a physiotherapist. I help people to get get their mobility, strengthen mobility, and get them to live an active and fulfilling lifestyle. Yes.
Yes, we
So
have a really similar goals to help people, just to improve their quality of life and make them feel great. As I'm always saying, it's like we're trying to make them to feel the way when they were kids, so they can do anything without limitations.
absolutely, yes. Live a free lifestyle.
So and it's all
So
possible. You just have to put some effort into it because when the people are kids, then everything is granted because you can do whatever you want and you are healthy. But then later when you're getting older, people forgetting about taking care of themselves and they're just starting to do, to be honest, nothing. They're starting to work, and that's where we're starting to see most of the people deteriorating in their health because they're just neglecting their bodies. That's the easiest way to explain why people are getting worse. Obviously, you got those situations when people got injured from repetitive use or trauma or something, but most likely, most of the people which I'm seeing, they're kind of they just neglected their bodies and body
yeah,
protesting, getting aches, pains, and injuries. That's the way it works.
absolutely, yes. So we start the topic for today is joint mobility. So can you tell us something about joint mobility?
I will talk from a functional range conditioning point of view. This is the system. I was
Yes.
like, because those days when you hear in mobility, just thinking, what's that? Is it stretching or something? And there's plenty of different definitions of mobility. But mobility, it's a just make sure that joints move in the way they're supposed to move. Because all those joints, they have a certain actions. They should have like a, let's say, shoulder. They should supposed to have a certain internal, external rotation and a deduction, abduction, flexion, extension, and yeah. And mobility is having active range of motion. So what I mean about the mobility is if you can lift your arm overhead, that's one thing, but you will have to be able to lift it on your own without help. So people, I'll just demonstrate something, very often mistaking mobility with flexibility. So the easiest explanation will be when I'll get to this position and I will get my heel towards my butt.
Yes.
That will be flexibility. Why is that? Because to get there, I have to use something external. So if you were doing yoga, you would use band or your hand. But
Yes.
now, if I ask someone to let it go and keep it there where it was without changing anything in the body, then you will notice very often leg will go back where it was, or people will get a lot of cramping. Why
Yes.
that will be the case? Because people will be flexible, but the certain nervous system cannot control it because they didn't train that range of motion, which is being able to control what you have. So that's the difference between flexibility and mobility. Flexibility is passive. So that's why you see a lot of people doing what kind of a stretching they're doing, and they are super flexible, but they often getting injured too, and they kind of are scratching their heads. Oh, what happened? I'm really flexible. Why I'm getting injured? But flexible is nothing. It's like a just first step before controlling what you have. Yeah. So not control it, you could compare it like I don't know, you have a machine gun and just going all over, but you cannot control it. You're not going into one certain spot. So that's mobility, just controlling your range of motion. Like probably the most simple explanation. Controlling your flexibility would be your mobility. Yeah, that's the easiest way. And it should be applied to all of your joints. So it's like you got whatever bends, you could say those are your joints. So we're talking your neck, we're talking your shoulders, shoulder blades, elbows, wrists, spine, hips, knees, and ankles, toes, every single joint, we can take care of it. Obviously, we have three major ones, which are a spine, shoulders, and hips. And that's like a base. If those are good, then we're just looking at the others. And all those joints can be trained similar ways, like if you're training muscles, but it takes much more time and it looks different too to train in muscles. Yeah, because muscles like you can train muscles, you can get really big muscles,
Yes.
but then what? If you have a big muscles, it doesn't mean that you have a good joints. Yeah, so that's a different story. But then you could think about it that way. If you had a door and your joints were hinges, yeah, so those hinges have to be strong for the door to move one or other way. But if you put more weight on the door and hinges are weak, so putting more weight on the door would be getting more muscles only, but not taking care of hinges, then door will break at certain stage when you open and close because there will be too much weight on it. Yeah, so that's what we do in joint training to get body strong and to be able to do whatever we want to do. That's the easiest way to explain. Does it make sense for you?
Yes, makes sense, and it's a very great point. You're okay. So we move to the next point. So about pain and pain management. How would you tell us?
Pain and pain management from different points of view, from the joints point of view, generally pain point of view. So pain normally would be your body letting you know that something isn't right. That's the easiest way to explain. Yeah.
Yes. So warning.
Yeah. Just to do something. Yeah.
Yes.
And very often people panicking because you're in pain or something, but it's just do something about it. So it's not necessarily taking paracetamol because that isn't going to help. It will be just you cannot feel it, but still it's happening. It's the same with taking cortisol shots. If you're taking cortisol shots, then still isn't going to work for you because you cannot feel the damage. That's the difference, but still damage happening. Yeah, which is doesn't make sense to do the damage but not feel it. Yeah, doesn't make sense at all. But people don't think about it that way. But pain is normally just there's something wrong with your body, and your body telling you do something about it. That's like a simplified way just for everyone to understand. And that pain, when it comes to the joints, it might be from again repetitive use. So you are overusing those things. That's most likely. All those things are getting super weak, and other things have to do more job. Let's say, for example, would be your spine. Let's say if you got all the vertebrae, we're supposed to move one by one. So you can imagine yourself doing 1, 2. You can think domino, like each piece supposed to move. And then if you have a back pain very often, then those vertebrae, rather than move one by one, you will see like there's 5 moving together, and then what does it mean? Then those vertebrae lower and higher, they will have to do so much more job because of those not doing what they're supposed to. And again, everyone will be, oh, what should I do? Perhaps I should do a cat camel or something. That could be a good start, but again, how and know exactly what you're doing, which of those vertebrae is not moving well, and also knowing about your hips perhaps not moving well, they can cause pain. So pain is, as I said, just signal to do something about it. So the best way to figure out what's happening at that moment when you have a pain would be to get assessed. Yeah, so just see how your joints moving, and then you will see straight away. I don't know, let's say you have shoulder pain. Yeah, so you would just see how much, again, internal and external rotation you have.
Yes.
And then you'll be saying, oh yeah, there's probably poor internal rotation, so there has to be something to be done about it. But is it only shoulder? Perhaps, but there are also other things to take under consideration. So that could be your rib cage, like your rib cage is compressed, you cannot breathe there, your pelvis position or shoulder blades not moving well. So that's why it's not great. It's not good just to just do exercise because you've seen something on the YouTube or I don't know Instagram or anywhere. Is to know what you need and pain, and then you're just doing things, and pain is getting better, and then you're getting better too. That's the way it works. But knowing exactly what happened to you and doing it rather than just doing exercises, because exercises are just exercises, but knowing what, why, that's what makes a difference.
Yes, exactly. You treat the root
Yeah,
cause,
does it make sense?
half of the problem is solved. So
Yeah.
yes, yes. Okay, so moving to the next thing about health and wellness. So that's our mission. Can you let us know more about that?
What about health and wellness generally? That's a quite big topic, but just to kind of try to simplify it, it would all start from our nutrition, how we're eating, how we're sleeping,
Mhm.
and how we're breathing, and then we're adding movement. So those are like simple things which people even don't think about. It's like because everyone those days is just thinking about going to work and nothing else. But you're supposed to take care of yourself. So if you're not sleeping well, then it will mess up with your hormones. Then probably because of that, you'll be hungry and then also have a bad mood, and you might start having a mental issues if you're not sleeping well for a long time. Same with the nutrition, because nutrition is like that's your building block. So that's what makes you what you're eating. Yeah? So if you're eating poor food, like a lot of processed foods, then again, you're not going to feel well, and then you might gain weight. That will depend on calories. So generally, you not feel great. So taking care of what you eat is super important. And how you sleeping, those should be two first things to consider. When it comes to eating, it's quite simple. If you like to just eat well, then you focus on eating normally food with one ingredient. You know what I mean? So like say taking a meat or whatever, potato, rice, this is one ingredient, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just buying something from the shop and there's like a list of, I don't know, 17 ingredients, and then even don't know what they are. It's like, some kind of additives and other stuff. And yeah, it's like, if you're having a little bit of that from time to time, just because you like it, it's okay. But if you just eating that kind of a food every day, then your health probably isn't going to be great because it's not fitting your body the way you should. Other thing is a hydration. People should take up hydration. We've seen a lot of dehydrated people. So just make sure that you're drinking enough water daily. It's as simple as that. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I have a headache, I should take paracetamol. But when you ask them question, did you drink enough water today? They don't know. So drink like let's say a glass or two, and they say, no, actually I don't have a headache anymore. Yeah? So that's another thing when it comes to wellness. And so what we were talking about was sleep, one, nutrition, two, and then what else will be there? Hydration, and other thing will be movement, which is super
Nutrition.
important. Yeah. So movement also will be super important because if we don't not moving, then you could imagine you can kind of think about it like a bicycle which is in the garden, and if you don't move it, rust is getting rusty. Yeah, it's getting rusty, and then it's difficult to get it moving. But if you are using that bicycle every day, that would be good. Yeah, obviously you'd have to use oil and other stuff. So with the human body, movement is like that stuff which oils it. Yeah, and then
Exactly,
every move
yes.
it
We are
moves.
designed to move, so we need to keep that in mind. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Then you have to be more specific when it comes to the joints, because joints again you'd have to know which joints, what, how, but yeah, it still does the job. So it could be like a joints daily routines, which would be like a brushing your teeth. So it's kind of with the same purpose. You're brushing your teeth for the reason because you would like to have them to serve you well for a long time. If you didn't brush your teeth, I don't know, for a year, what would happen with that? You can imagine yourself, yeah? And same with the joints. If you're not taking care of them, then also they will start getting worse, because that's the point about your brain. Your brain is seeing what you need. Like if you don't use it, you lose it. That's the best explanation. So let's say if you will be lifting your arms overhead every day and doing, let's say, this movement, which is full shoulder joint movement, full rotation, then probably you will have it because you're using it every day. But let's say if you sit in 10 years at work and the highest you lift in your arms is just to grab something from the kitchen, that's the highest you go in, then you're giving signal to your brain that you don't need that range of motion, which is higher up. And then you cannot get there anymore. And then you're surprised when you get in there that shoulder aches, but it's just from that person who didn't lift that arm overhead for 10 years. It happened because you yeah, so it's just taking care of your body. That's the thing, and that's how we can get better. Just taking care of ourselves.
Definitely, yes. We should take care of our body, so for it to take care of us in the long run. That's the
Yeah.
yes. And about
Yeah, and
nutrition, yes, about nutrition, what would you tell us about like what should our daily intake of
of the
food be?
nutrition. Again, that really depends in terms of our calories, what people need, because that's how much activity you have and stuff like that. Yes, it's like see in the years ago, people didn't count calories, but still they look good. You know what I mean? And why was that? Because they were moving much more. Yeah, so that was the difference, and the food was much less processed. So let's go times, I don't know, just after Second World War. Yeah, then you couldn't see probably overweight people and stuff like that because everyone was doing something and eating real food. Yeah, there was no preservatives in food. People didn't see plastic or anything like that, which was badly affecting them. They were just eating normal food, whatever they felt they're supposed to eat, and they were just moving. Yeah, so those days we don't have those qualities. People don't move that much because everyone sits in front on the computer or just at work, and the food is much worse quality as well. It's like there's a lot of additives, and it affects people negatively. Yeah, so calories, it will depend on how much person is moving. Again, it's like a just number and can be adjusted on your physical activity, and quality of food also will make a difference because you could eat 3,000 calories from donuts only. Yeah,
Yes,
or you could eat 3,000 calories just eating, I don't know, let's say chicken and whatever meat you like, and veggies and stuff like that. So yeah,
yes,
that's also makes difference. So calories is one thing, but then how much you move in daily and what's the food of the quality, what food you're eating. Yeah, so that's how it could be addressed. So as I was saying, eating food with one ingredient, that's probably the easiest way to approach it. Yeah. So you're making your meal, you just normally should prioritize protein, and
yes,
then add some veggies and some carbs, and it's as simple as that. And just hydrate yourself again. Don't drink your calories. So you know what I mean. It's like drinking a lot of Coke or other stuff, because this is a calories, but you don't feel them. They're not doing anything. It's sugar only. So that's what people do in those days as well. They're drinking a lot of those fizzy drinks, and they have a lot of sugar. And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, if
leads
we
to
educate,
weight gain.
yeah.
And we should like burn more calories than we consume. Is it good?
Say again, what was the question?
We should burn more calories than we consume, or is it balanced? We should keep a balance of burning and consuming calories.
Uh, you mean people should? Because I couldn't hear properly. People should balance calories and what else?
And burning them like working out or like exercise. Yes,
Yeah, that burns calories. Yeah. So, but again, we shouldn't think that much about burning calories. It's just just eat the good diet, Diet means just nutrition. So it's not like you have to be on the diet. Diet is just the way you eat in, yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, when you move in, you burn in it, yeah. So it's quite natural. And if you eat in, for example, a higher protein diet, then you're not so hungry too, because protein it's much more satisfying to your body. So you could think about it like if you have a what's that, coal and hay. So which one will burn quicker? You know what I mean? One is like seconds, and another one it burns for hours. Yeah, so that's how we could compare carbohydrates and protein. Protein will be burning much longer and gives you're much more satisfied, and carbs are going much quicker. They're like a quicker energy source. Yeah, so that's why what you eat in also matters, because it matters how long it's going to take you before you're going to get hungry again. And then with the lifestyle, you can experiment. You could go any way of eating you like. Some people like to eat twice per day, for example. Some people prefer to eat 5 times per day, like a smaller portions. But again, it's just preference. You're just trying to see what works for you. Yeah, because for example, I like to eat twice per day, and I'm doing 16 hours of not eating and then 8 hours of eating, and I'm feeling good with that. Some people don't like it. Some people prefer to eat 5 times smaller meals. Yeah, but then you just check in what works for you. So it's not like a one recipe. You just have to find it for yourself. Just check what works for you, and yeah, just doing your stuff, being consistent, and yeah, that's what's making a difference.
Yes.
And what issues do you have mostly with your clients? Now I will ask you the question like what are the most common issues when people come into you? Like because you are from India, yeah?
Yes, I'm from India.
And what was the most common issue in India when people come into you?
In India, there's like a mix of issues, but mostly I see people with posture issues, like they have bad posture working, like in their work setting. So I see most of that stiffness in the body, like back issues, back and knee issues, and neck also. So yeah, that's more prominent these days. So
But see,
I have to.
with the people, the first thing again, it would come back to doing joint stuff. Remember when we talk about the joints? So probably the easiest way for all the people who I know, it would be to start doing cars, which is control articular rotations. You can find them on my YouTube channel, which is PH Moves You, or you can. It's not only mine. You can find them anywhere on the YouTube. Cars
Yes.
control articular rotations. And if people just found like a 15 minutes daily, because it doesn't take long. First, you have to learn it, yeah, because that's every single joint. But you're doing
Yes.
it every day. And I said, it's like a brushing your teeth. You're just doing something for your joints and you're feeling better. So this is like a easiest step for everyone to start with something, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's super simple, just taking care of yourself. So let's say, I don't know, this is your elbow. Your elbow's supposed to bend, rotate, extend, and you would be moving your elbow under control. Or if it's your wrist should be having extension, flexion, and then radial and ulnar deviations, and then your wrist
Yes.
moving, and just moving those things, and that's it. So that's what's super useful. Same with the hip or your spine. So for all those of your clients or people who come into you, if they could do cars every day, that could help them a lot. Recently, I spoke with the postman, and the postman was saying to me that he had a bad knee. If I have any exercises, yeah. I said,
Yes.
yeah, just do cars for now. It's like just first step, you know. You don't have to like just train with me or anything. Just do simple thing and start doing cars every day. Yeah. Then 2 weeks later, I'm seeing a postman, and a postman saying, "Oh, my knee doesn't ache anymore." And see, I just said, "Yeah, I told you, just do your cars. It's like a first thing. Just move those things which you normally not moving. You kind of oil them, and they feeling better. So it's not like it will solve all people's problems. You know what I mean? But that will be good start to make them feel better. Yeah, so that's the way it works. So see, for example, here in the UK, people probably moving less than in India. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's true or not, but I assume that will be the case because I think people in India moving better. And I think people in India also have better hip mobility because they sit in squat quite often, easily. Here in England, for example, then people have much poorer hip mobility. They have hips problems and stuff like that. So and low back is issue everywhere. People have that issue everywhere with the neck as well, because those days everyone is just sitting in front of the phone and computer. So but all those things can be easily adjusted. It's just taking care of body and then not spending so much time in those positions which are causing issues. And then your body is getting better. Because the point with the human body is it will fix itself if you will give it the right stimulus. But again, this is right stimulus. That's important stuff, because if you injure someone and you're trying to do too much, then you're going to make things worse. But if you do just right amount of the right, not exactly exercise, you could say let's say exercise, but exercise, I don't like that word that much, then you will get better. So this is why you would think about it if we made when you got at the mat those graphs, you go in two lines, one going up, one sideways. You know what I mean? And then if you could write down all the joints, and number would be going up from 1 to 10. Let's say that's what you can get. 10 is your maximum. And here in this other line, we could write down joints. And let's say neck. And we can see how that neck is moving. And you would assess it based on how it's moving. If someone got pain in the neck, then probably that person will be on 0. So that neck is poor quality. Now we'll talk tissues in neck. And then if you train that neck weights weeks, I know, let's say someone got pinching when they move in this way, and they say, oh, that hurts here, for example. So that means that tissue is weak in that area. That's it. So if we strengthen that tissue, so getting it from 0 at the right level, that tissue would improve. That would be 1, 2, or 3, and it's much more resilient, and there's no pain, because pain is around 0. But how to do that? To make it stronger, we would have to just go within that tissue capacity, which means if it's on 0, we just kind of bumping up that 0, so that 0 gets a little bit better. It's 0.1. Then we're again working just within capacity. It goes up a bit. But if you try to do too much, then that tissue will get injured and it goes down. So that's where people having issues with the training. Let's say because someone was going to the gym and someone injured the shoulder, while bench pressing. We have a few more minutes. All right. So if someone was doing that bench press and someone was doing 100 kilo bench press but injured the shoulder and they get injured, let's say they were there. But now they're here. So if they will try to come back to the gym and do that bench press at 100 kg, then they will be here. You know what I mean? And then they will be here, and then they cannot move the shoulder. So the point would be, it's not doing 100 kg, just getting that shoulder to move the way it's supposed to move, because then probably you'd notice that something doesn't move well there, and then bumping up within capacity, and then you're coming back to what you were doing. So it's all quite simple if you know what to do. That's the way it works.
That's very true, very true. Yes, so as we move to the end of the session.
So, Joel, it was great to talk with you. If you have any other questions, always you can reach out to me on Instagram. And it was great to talk with you. So,
yes, it
Joel,
was nice talking to you, Mr. Peter. Yes. And anything you would like to add for the end of this?
What I would add, just what I would say, everyone should be doing cars every day. As I said, you can find them on YouTube or on my channel. That will help a lot of people. So my mission would be just to get every single person in the world to do cars every day. That would equal to brushing your teeth, but that would be for your joints. So that's my mission. And again, if anyone needs help, you can find me on Instagram on PH Moves You. So
do follow him, guys, on all the platform. I'll mention all of his handles down below. So yes, thank you, Mr. Peter, for joining in today's live, and I wish the best for you. Yes.
Once again, thank you for inviting me. Have a great rest of the day, because I know it's quite late in India. What time we got there? Close to 5, yeah?
Yeah, it's around 6:15 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got 15 minutes to 2. So yeah, there's time difference. Yeah, definitely. Once again, Joel, thanks for inviting me. Have a
Yes.
great day, and
Yes.
we can talk
Yes.
again.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Peter. God bless you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
You.